Good morning. We are going to be working more with exponentials today. And the thing that we're going to be working at with exponentials is we're going to be talking about the exponential equation. And I'm lazy, so I'm not going to write equation. So what we're learning about it is we know that its general form, we know this from today, is y equals ab to the x. You might see it as y equals a times b x minus h plus k. You might see it like that as well. That is also a general form, but we're not going to concentrate on that one right now. So from the Desmos, we learned that a is our initial value, which means it's the number we start at. Which is also, when we were looking at our graph, we said it was our y-intercept. So it's where we hit at that y. So those are all the things that our A represents. Our B, what we learned that represent, we learned it was our multiplier. And we learned that if it was greater than 1, it showed growth. And if it was between 0 and 1, it showed decay. So these are the big things we learned in that Desmos. But we're going to go a little bit more in depth. And we're going to talk about this multiplier a little bit more. We're going to introduce something called the rate, which will be R. And the rate is actually like what percent are we growing by or what percent are we decaying by. So the rate has to do with the multiplier. So it's what we grow or decay by. So it's that actual percent. So like if you buy a car or if you buy a house or like something like that, it will decay by a certain value each year, or maybe it'll grow by something each year. If you get a credit card, it will have an interest rate, what it grows by each month. So this is how we figure that stuff out. And it has to do with our B. So if our B is 1 plus whatever our rate is, that means it's growth because it'll be greater than 1. If our B is 1 minus our rate, it's going to be decay because that is less than 1 there. So we're going to see how we can actually figure this out from different problems. So for example, let's say that you're investing some money and you have the equation y equals 250 times 1.21 to the x. So we want to start by finding out what is everything. So I'm going to start by finding my A, which is my initial value, which is 250. Because that is what I start with. That's the money that I put in first. Then I'm going to look for my B value, my multiplier. So my B is what we have taken to the exponent. So I have 1.21 for my B. Lastly, to find the rate, we have to use this B. And when we look at this, we need to think, are we growing or decaying? This is greater than 1, so it is growth. So we know we want to use this equation, this 1 plus r up here. So our B value is 1.21, and it would equal 1 plus r. Well, we just solve for r, and we know how to solve for a variable. So I subtract 1 from each side, and I have 0.21 equals my R. So this means it grows by 21%, because remember, to take a decimal to a percentage, you multiply by 100. Let's do one more example. So example 2, let's say we have the equation y equals 2,000 times 0.81 to the x. So this is the value, let's say, I bought a car. And this is the equation that goes out of it. So first, I need to find my a value. So I look, see what's in front, what is not connected to my exponent, and that's 2,000. So that means I started by spending $2,000 on my car. Then my b value is my multiplier, so what the exponent is being taken to. So it's 0.81. And because it's 0.81, it's less than 1, which means it's decay. So that's why it's important to find our b value first, because that's going to help us with which one of these we use. So because it's decay, I use 1 minus r. So I have 0.81 equals 1 minus r. And now I want to solve. So what I want to do is I want to subtract 1 from both sides again. And I didn't actually do this, so let me put this in my calculator super fast. So I would do 0.81 minus 1, and that gives me negative 0.19. But remember, this has to stay negative, so it equals negative r. To make the r positive, you want to either multiply or divide both sides by negative 1. So I'm going to divide each side. So our rate here is 0.19 or 19%. So my car is depreciating by 19%. So this is just a little bit more we're going to be talking about with exponents and decay. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you need any help.